Patty Jenkins should go to a diner and get a patty melt named after her. Because her name is just like perfect. I want to go to a diner and be like, can I get the Patty Jenkins, please?
It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a modern podcast where we talk about everything that's great. Like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris Dillard.
And my name's Mike Royer.
And this week, Wonder Woman lassos us to tell us the truth about her new movie.
Ooh, yes she will.
We're all tied up. Spider-Man's animated show debuts its first footage for us.
Yes, sir.
I'm really interested to hear what you think about that one later. There's a murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, is there, Chris?
There is. It's a trailer of a movie about an Agatha Christie novel. I don't know. It's in there. And more.
Yes, and we will later explain why we're even talking about that movie to begin with. We found a loophole to get it into the podcast, but it's a relatively light news week, and I don't know if that's just because it's kind of the beginning of summer. It's this weird thing that happens with superhero news since we've kind of been on it for, a little over a year now. I guess close to a year and a half.
Yeah, we're coming up on our year and a half.
Yeah, where actually you get all of your big news and your big reveals at either very specific points during the year, like at conventions and Comic-Cons and stuff like that, or you get it out of like certain months span before the movie even comes out. So all of these movies right now are coming out this summer. So we're kind of looking out for the news for the next summer movies. That'll be maybe towards in the fall, end of the summer and stuff like that. So every once in a while, like if we're not getting like leaks or something coming out about movies coming out, sometimes you get these lighter weeks.
That's okay, because our first news topic is something we spent our weekend doing with Wonder Woman coming out this week. But first and foremost, Mike, I want to know what else you did. Like, you went and saw a movie on a Saturday. How does that rearrange your whole weekend normally after normally watching them on a Thursday?
Well, this household, the week has been very busy, especially for my wife. This is what we call a what would we call this? This is kind of like a writer fellowship season. So she's trying to kick the door down in Hollywood and get into a writer's room somewhere. So one avenue you can do that is through these things called fellowships, which are kind of like paid internships if I just wanted to very easily explain them, but just very, very exclusive, thousands of applications, only small number of people picked. Like I'm talking like 4 or 5 people. So there's a lot of different ones, and they all kind of are due around the same time out here in this town. So she was working really hard on that stuff, and it was actually really funny because just before we sat down and recorded this podcast, she was just kind of like wandering aimlessly around the apartment, just going like, I don't know what to do with myself. All of my deadlines are all done and passed, and I got everything submitted. So she's like, I don't know what to do, and I was just like, go watch Man in the High Castle on Amazon. You like that show, so all is fine out here in the Royer household. I threw up a web comic earlier this week.
When you said throw up, I didn't know what was going to follow that one,
I threw up on the internet, which is apparently above me, so I have to throw it up there. A new webcomic over at pickledcomics.com. So I'm calling this, at least to myself, the summer of webcomics, just for no reason at all. It's not like I am a teacher like your wife, and I have the summer off. I'm just like, I just need some sort of season that I can attribute my my work to. So hopefully I'll be putting up a new comic every week. So I'd look out for that.
Well, I'm gonna harass you every week until I see my comics. So hopefully you put those up regularly, because I like to see them. I hope everybody else watches them.
Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I just want to say I went out and I went and got my first DC comic book trade, and it's actually a collection of like everything in the story arc called the Sinestro Corps War from Green Lanterns. And the cover price on this thing, it's huge. It's like an oversized book. It's $100, but I was able to get it for like $33.
Oh, nice.
At a half price books, and it was brand new, unopened, still sealed. It was very cool to go through and look at. So big shout out to my friend Jeremy. I don't know if he's even listening, but for helping me find that at the store this weekend and doing that. And then I'm starting an art project in my office based on I'm finally going to decorate my office after being there pretty much, I guess, a year and a half, just as long as we've done the show. Well, no, longer, a little longer than we've done the show. We've done the show 2.5 years. almost.
I can't even keep track anymore, Chris.
Wow. So I've only been there a year and a half, so I'm ready to decorate my office. And I like to create a Marvel Cinematic Universe wall collage of all the posters. So I've been going through and trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. I've got a bunch of regular Inhumans posters here in the office I'm going to put up and stuff like that. So if anyone has any decorating tips on posters or buy cheap frames, because frames are so expensive.
Well, it took us over 124 episodes of Superhero Slate before we started asking for our audience for decorating tips, but there you go.
Yeah, well, God, please help me. I need it so bad. But other than that, I guess in the pop world, everyone likes to know when I have some pop news here. I've got my first what's called a Chase edition I found in the wild this weekend.
I don't even know what that is, Chris.
So are you familiar with the idea of variant comic books?
Yes.
So Chases are variant pop vinyls that have some sort of differentiation, like maybe a different paint job, a different pose, different something about them. And they're limited to either like 1 in 6 or 1 in 36. But like you never know if that's even going to be in the box you order.
Oh, so are those usually like the clear ones or the gold ones or things like that?
They can be, yeah.
Okay.
It's like I have a couple Chase ones, I believe. Of my Star-Lord is an unmasked Star-Lord of a Chase that I got. But I found my first one in the wild at a Walgreens this week while I was out of work. And it's actually a Spider-Man one, and the Chase variant is the Miles Morales color scheme.
Oh, cool.
And paint job. So as much as like Ultimate Spider-Man, it was really cool to see that. And I'm like, I don't really want to trade this away. It's pretty cool looking dude. So there was that. So that's about all I got for my weekend, Mike. We've already recorded one show. Now we're on our second show of a very light news week. Kind of concerning me here, but I guess if you're ready, let's just jump into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we just recorded our spoiler cast on Wonder Woman. And we're here to kind of give you a spoiler-free thoughts and impressions on what we thought of the movie here. So if you want to listen to, if you've seen the movie, you want to listen to our full spoiler-filled show, you subscribe to us on iTunes. It'll be right there. Head over to YouTube, find it on the playlist. But I think the consensus between the both of us is we had a good time.
Yes, exactly.
Which is surprising for us in a DC movie. Something I didn't bring up there, but I was going to bring up here. The movie's made $100 million at the box office this weekend. And when we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy, you were surprised it didn't break any records. I'm kind of more surprised this one didn't break any records this weekend. It being, again, what I think the best DC Extended Universe movie, it's still the lowest money-making one of the four on opening weekend so far still.
Yeah, well, you said you think this movie has legs and it's going to keep making more money over the summer. I think that's a smart idea, and I think that's going to happen as well.
Yeah, I think word of mouth. I mean, if you guys are on the fence about it, because we were on the fence about it. Lord knows if you followed us through all these episodes, you know that we were on the fence about this movie.
Yeah, we
are very pleasantly surprised. So if you get your movie advice from us, which please don't take all your advice from us, we are not great role models. I think you go see it. Go watch it in the theater.
Yeah, we're just two dudes that enjoyed the action scenes. I love the way Wonder Woman fought. There's an awesome scene in the movie where she really kicks that lasso in the high gear that's really stuck into my brain. I love the way she rumbles. It reminds me of the way kind of Captain America fights. So I really dug that. A cool but kind of straightforward story. Some issues with the third act, but we kind of both agree. You know, every superhero movie kind of has that problem, with few exceptions. So this is exactly what DC needed. They just needed to not offend us, and I think they actually did better than that. They actually gave us a good movie. So not necessarily groundbreaking, but if this is actually where the DC universe is going to jump off from here, I think that's a good idea. So hopefully going forward, Chris, I would imagine maybe you would start collecting these DVDs and Blu-rays on your shelf, and you could kind of just look at it from Wonder Woman on, and maybe just if you happen to own the other DC movies, I don't know if you do or not, maybe you could just throw them. Well, that's good, because I was going to say if you had them, maybe you could just throw them in the trash can.
Yeah, I did not. I was actually talking about my movie collection this week. I have all the Marvel movies. We have a lot of Disney movies as well. But everything below that, there's like 3 shelves of movies I haven't touched in a very long time. If we move and get a house or a new place or whatever, wherever we move to next, I'm probably going to liquidate a lot of those old DVDs.
Ooh, liquidation.
But I was curious. I want to go digital with a lot of them because I like watching some of them at time to time, but I like my digital collection, just as well. And I have no DVD drive to rip these DVDs anymore. And I don't want to go full-on pirating on torrent sites. But have you heard of the disc-to-digital Vudu service?
I've kind of heard of it. I'm not really sure how it works. Isn't Vudu kind of owned by Walmart or
Walmart puts a lot of the money into it. All the movies you can buy at Walmart usually come with that. But a lot of the other studios are backing it, yes, because Vudu and iTunes actually I can share my libraries between them pretty fluently. Mm-hmm. So I just didn't know if anyone else had any options on like how do I back up all these DVDs I'm never going to watch, because do I even need to back them up? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so would you just like send like a random DVD, like maybe from like 2002 or something that never even saw a digital code in its life, and do you just like mail it into Vudu and they just convert it digitally? Or
so you put in the UPC code, I believe, or you scan the barcode now in the newest app, and it will see if it's in the Vudu library, because you know how digital rights are, not everything's in every library. And if it's in there, you pay a small fee and you will own the copy of it.
Oh, I wonder what the small fee is.
I think it's like maybe $2 to $3 a movie.
Oh, that's not too bad. My iTunes library itself, or at least my wish list on iTunes, is growing pretty large, because I think earlier in the history of Superhero Slate, we had some in-depth conversations about how we are going to go forward with our digital media libraries, and I was kind of worried what wagon to attach my horse to, but I think iTunes is probably going to be the safest bet, considering iTunes, since Apple is like the biggest like company in the world, like worth like the most money. So I think my digital library is safe with them, at least for now.
Yeah, well, if anyone has any options, for me, as I move into Mike's state of mind here, do let us know. Sorry to get off track on the Wonder Woman topic there, but
no, that's fine, Chris. Like you said, this is a light news week. If we have any tangents that we want to jump off onto, I don't think it's a bad idea.
All right, we'll go with it. Last bit of Wonder Woman news, I just want to say Patty Jenkins' contract, the director, she has a potential sequel in it. She signed before she actually started directing the movie, which I found very weird. With a lot riding on Wonder Woman for DC, I figured they'd wait until it was done before they said, hey, do you want to come back after proving herself? But apparently they have a lot of faith in Patty Jenkins, which is proving to be a good thing for them. So,
all right.
Any comments on that?
We talked about it a little in the Spoilercast. We're just kind of curious where a sequel of Wonder Woman goes. So I guess date-wise, if Aquaman is next year, and maybe at the end of next year we get a Flash movie. More than likely, I think it's probably going to be 2019. That where the
end of next year is Aquaman? So,
so I thought Aquaman maybe have been in the summer. So
no, it's December.
Yeah, I just wonder where a Wonder Woman movie comes out next. But I would look forward to it. Like, Wonder Woman was a good time, so I'm looking forward to a sequel, which is more than I can say about Justice League right now.
I'm on the Justice League hype train though, so it's all right. You got one on each train here, so that's all right. So Wonder Woman, I'm thinking 2019. Give them 3 years to get it ready. Batman 2018, hopefully. Knock on wood. But yeah, so there we go. Wonder Woman, go check it out. On that regards, if we're talking about movies settled in mythology, Norse mythology is very huge, and Thor Ragnarok is coming up later this year, this November, which will compete with Justice League. So we got our first look at a official small-scale model of the planet Sakaar, which will be where the fighting and stuff takes place on in Thor Ragnarok here.
Oh, cool.
So it's hard to make out a lot of it because kind of from a distance here, but the tubular thing that kind of looks like the Sarlacc pit in Star Wars is the Gladiator Arena, where most of it will probably take place.
Yes, very, very tall. It looks like it would be hard to escape out of, because we all know Hulk and Thor can they got legs on them. They can jump tall, run high, depending on what Thor's holding on to. He can kind of fly, so you kind of got to have some height on that roof.
yeah, definitely. They probably had a lot of people try to get up before.
Yeah,
but that's okay because the Grandmaster's watching this. I assume the Grandmaster lives in the big tower in the background. Mm-hmm. That seems like a Jeff Goldblum place he would live. I need to look over all these people. So.
Yeah, I really love just this creative look of the area. I know some people have kind of been rubbed the wrong way a little bit looking at it, just because it seems kind of so Fisher Pricey, kind of like it's made to basically sell toys. But it's just kind of fun and creative ways to imagine it. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going into space, or even, I guess, other planes of existence, you know, you got infinite possibilities, so you got infinite types of worlds that you can go to. So I think it's kind of fun if it's a little weird.
And this is the planet that is surrounded by wormholes, where all the universe's junk goes. So it is technically a combination of all those other neat worlds Mike wants to see, and this is the amalgamation that came out of it. So
yeah, there you go.
I think it looks really cool. Not a lot of detail, but I'm excited to see what it looks like when the movie hits. All the rest of these 3 bits of news here came from Lego sets, and we know how unreliable those can be.
Yeah.
But the creatures that Hela controls are called Berserkers.
All right.
And we see one in the trailer. Heimdall cuts one in half. It's kind of blue and black, like a tealish blue. So that's called a Berserker, and those will be Hela's creatures. The Sakaaran guards look like Celestials. Not the Celestial that we know from Guardians of the Galaxy, but the old Jack Kirby's drawn Celestials. So that's a little throwback. I think this movie's gonna have a lot of Jack Kirby references. The art style just looks way 70s, way off the wall. Looking forward to that. And lastly, we may have the possible debut of the Fenris wolf. Are you familiar with the Fenris wolf in Norse mythology?
No, I'm not. Lay it on me, man.
So it's Fenrir. So it's the wolf. It's technically, I believe, the son of Loki, but it's a big wolf that it brings about apocalypse or Ragnarok in that. So it's foretold that Fenrir will kill Odin and start the events that lead to the Ragnarok. So.
Well, that sounds pretty metal to imagine Odin being eaten by a giant wolf. So if that comes to pass, I hope it at least looks really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Again, Lego sets very, very sketchy at best. But if they are, I mean, the Lego set is pulling from Norse mythology. At least that's really cool. But I don't think Hela or Fenrir will be Loki's offspring, so to speak, in this movie. But who knows? Knock on wood. Later this November. Speaking of probably, I'm thinking November as well is The Punisher coming out. And the reason I say that is we have our first logo debut from someone who created a poster for John Bernthal for the movie, or for the TV series, and it says Netflix Punisher. It's got the faded skull logo like they always try to do. Looks like it might be like lined up with stuff on his jacket, maybe like a Kevlar jacket there.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if you kind of zoom in on the I guess the Punisher kind of graffiti spray of the skull. Looks like maybe it's overlaying, kind of looks like industrial, like a wall. I feel like I can see like metal beams, or maybe it's a street or something. It's hard to say. Okay,
well, I mean, that's going on, but also the director, or I guess the showrunner of the series, came out to say Punisher will debut in November. So there we go. We don't even have to question it.
Yeah, I mean that's 3 Netflix series in 1 year, and I'm sure 2 of them will be good.
Yeah. So we have, I think August is the Defenders, and then the Punisher, if it does, is November. And I feel like they've wrapped filming on it, so November is pretty easy to reach for the Punisher, because I don't think the Punisher requires a lot of visual effects, other than maybe a couple muzzle flares. So I don't know. I'm really excited. I think. You think this winter is going to be just as jam packed as this summer is in terms of content we're getting?
Man, I love it. It's like the best thing for a nerd. Like you just get all of this awesome stuff all year round. You don't have to wait and worry about like when the lull's going to be. And usually in these weird pockets, you get these like surprises of movies you weren't expecting. Like Kingsman, the first one back 2 years ago. So yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, I'm excited because we got Justice League, Thor, The Punisher, and Star Wars all within a month of each other. Pretty much.
Let's not forget about Star Wars.
Yeah, who could ever forget about Star Wars? It's awesome. And then if you're into binge-watching TV shows, Marvel is starting an animated Spider-Man series this summer that will replace Ultimate Spider-Man, which is the current animated Spider-Man series. And we got our first poster looking at it here, and I gotta say the poster does not sell me.
Yeah.
I think Peter Parker looks super weird. And it might be something about the eyes or like the lack of like really distinguishable facial features. I don't know. Something's off about this poster, Mike. What is it?
I think it's just because we don't have really anything dynamic going on here. It's just kind of showing us a very generic, like, oh, Spidey's face is on the left, Peter Parker's face is on the right. Spidey is kind of out in the dark in the city. Peter's face is out in the daylight, probably like a science research center behind him. Usually I think you just kind of expect more from a portrait view of any sort of superhero, just because it's always kind of mimicking the comic book cover and aspect ratio. So you're hoping for like a little bit more. But ultimately, Chris, the older and older we get, the further away that this show is targeted towards us, unfortunately.
Oh, I thought you said the further away from God we get. So. Because Mike isn't sold on anything Spider-Man this year yet, but we'll get there.
Not yet.
But we also got our first teaser of footage, I would say. Like, it's not really a trailer, it's an actual like scene from the upcoming show, which is really weird how they're marketing this. Like, not even hardly at all. But we get to see Spider-Man versus Scorpion, and I think Spider-Man's in like his homemade suit. What did you think of this animation series? I've heard both sides of it. What do you think? Yeah,
so it's kind of. It's a little unique. I'm kind of wondering if they're trying to do something a little different with this Spider-Man, because I mean, it seems like animated Spider-Man is doomed to be rebooted every 2 or 3 seasons, depending on when they lose and want to gain new kids with a new show. So maybe they're gonna go a little differently here. I mean, we see Spidey in his kind of in his homemade costume. He's kind of running around like in a hoodie and sweatpants. So I don't know if maybe this is just the pilot episode, then he's going to get a new suit from Tony Stark, maybe at the end of the episode or something like that. But there's kind of some very muted detail backgrounds. So it looks like maybe a whole lot of time's not being spent there. The character animation doesn't seem to be too off the wall detailed. It just, unfortunately, that's what you get with kid shows. I mean, they want to maximize the profit, when it comes from the toys and the audience, and they're like, what's just enough? What's good just enough for us to get this on the screen? There's lots of kind of like 3D rendered backgrounds going on, which sometimes can be good. I believe all the backgrounds in the Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon show are all computer rendered, so I hear that show's really, really great. But there's this mixture of kind of crude animation, but also there's this scene where Spider-Man's running down into the subway, and he's kind of like hopping along like he's like on like over like stirrups or something like that, or he's like
it's kind of like an
riding
run, isn't it?
Yeah, or like like riding an invisible horse. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on here. So maybe they're going to take a little bit more of like a comedy angle with this Spider-Man, but I think the best thing that you can kind of tell people is if you don't like it, just wait 2 years. They're going to make a new Spider-Man cartoon for you. So it's kind of hard to get attached.
So for me, I think the animation style harkens back a little more. If the Spider-Man feels more like the Spectacular Spider-Man than Ultimate Spider-Man did. Because Ultimate Spider-Man relied too heavily on cutaways and forced humor, which was a really, really big turnout. Like, it was hard to watch that show. The 2 seasons I did, I think they're on 3 or 4 by the time they're done this year. But this one, I mean, it's not for me, but I think it's a simpler storytelling with characters that we recognize. The Scorpion looks like the Scorpion from the 90s show, rather than like trying to make him realistic and like lifelike and like science made him this way kind of deal. So
yeah, simpler storytelling, simpler art style. It's just kind of hard to tell if it's going to be a knocked out of the park. Usually it comes down to the writing. Like, can the writers kind of find this gap between writing a kid's show and making it appealing for adults still? I guess you just have to wait and see if they take on anything maybe a little bit more serious in this. But I probably wasn't going to watch it anyway. Just, if it's not streaming, I don't have cable, I'm not really going to seek it out, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that, unless, it, again, reviews come out and it's like, this is off the chain, like, you got to do it. I don't even think I'd binge watch it later.
Yeah. I mean, right now, the biggest animated superhero thing on my radar is Young Justice Season 3, so that's what I'm waiting for.
There we go. Young Justice Season 3 on Mike's radar. Ding, ding. Speaking of, I guess this is a younger class of superheroes. New Mutants is coming out next year sometime, and they've cast actor Henry Zaga as Sunspot. We talked about this last week. I think it was in Teen Wolf. They officially cast him. But also, big thing here is Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things is Cannonball. You may remember him from being, I believe it was the big brother of the kid who went into the what is it, the Upside Down?
He was kind of the antisocial badass that was paired up with the sister of one of the kids too.
Yeah, he looks like a blonde version of the kid in Terminator 2.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at him. A young John Connor, but actually slightly a little bit older.
Yeah, a younger, older John Connor. Yeah, I mean, I think Cannonball, he has the ability to like kind of shoot himself off as like propel himself. Like a rocket.
Boy, I'm sure he has the ability to shoot himself off, Chris. But I think he would be a good Cannonball. Zing.
But he's invulnerable when he has his powers. So I think of these, he might be one of the more special effects. I don't know how special effects are going to get. This is supposed to be a horror film kind of thing. So
apparently, yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that, Fox is hit and miss on their stuff. This one feels more like a hit, whereas Dark Phoenix feels more like a miss next year. So, we'll keep our fingers crossed and let you know. Hopefully they'll release concept art or something, a picture of all the cast soon, and go from there, because they're stacking the cast really heavily, so that's getting me excited. So hopefully they start doing something with it rather than just tell us. But that brings me to this character. Charlie Heaton was in Stranger Things. You have a Stranger Things season 2 scoop, Mike, that you are insistent on telling me this week.
Okay, so I think now you're just messing with me.
No,
so
I'm so enthralled.
I had thought I had stumbled across some very interesting, groundbreaking Stranger Things exclusive season 2 news, and we were gonna try to build this whole episode around it because I thought I had some insider information. Luckily, I Googled it and found out that it was out there in the open back in February. So you just left this in here to make fun of your co-host. But if anybody was curious what this, I guess, quote, news was, is that Barb from season 1 is officially not returning for season 2. There's no sneaky way they're bringing her back or sending that back in there. So I know everybody loved Barb, but she's not coming back. But it's not that big of a deal. You're just making fun of me now, man.
No, I would never do that. Now, was this water cooler talk? Where did you hear this at? I guess is my question.
I can't officially say, okay. But sometimes out here you overhear things. And I my ears were just perked up because I heard someone say, after we turned the mics off and after we stopped recording, they told me that this was going to be happening after I asked them. I was like, wait a minute. What's going on over there? Usually I'm not paying attention to the world around me. So I was like, oh man, I got a scoop. I got to tell Chris. So luckily I did that Google so I wouldn't make myself embarrassed in my own podcast, but I'm glad you brought it back in anyway, Chris.
Well, you're welcome. I wasn't going to tell you. He was texting me this, and I knew about this already, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to let Mike have his moment. I'm not going to shoot him down.
And I was even extra annoyed that you already knew because, it took me, months to get you to even watch Stranger Things to begin with. And so it was just, you weren't even, as into it as I was at the beginning, and you already know this news, but you just got this weird vault brain for, pop culture news, and somehow you know all this stuff.
I think the news dropped while I was watching the show. And I was like, the timing of it was very ironic. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, hopefully I've got to that part where she dies. She gets killed off in the first episode or something, so it's not too big of a deal. So Stranger Things season 2 coming later this year. You know what? I think maybe we'll try to do a spoiler cast, Mike, if we can.
Well, good. Now that you're finally on the Stranger Things wagon.
I'm not know if I'm on it fully, but I'll do it for you just to make up for this fact I did embarrass you on our show for a couple of minutes here.
Well, thank you, Chris.
Thankfully, it's not a video, so we can't see your face turning red. How about to make it up for you, I'll tell you about this great deal on Amazon right now.
Great deal, wow.
So I just found this out. They really didn't market it, they just did it. On Amazon, if you go to their comics and graphic novels and select Marvel, most of their titles or trades and graphic novel collections are 97% off right now.
Yeah, they are dirt cheap. I'm scrolling through them right now. You can get World War Hulk for $1.80.
Yeah, so even more recent titles, the ones that just ended, The Unworthy Thor, ended a month or two ago, $2.60 for all the issues.
Yeah.
The Infinity Gauntlet book, a bestseller, $2.20 for all the issues.
You can get 4 years. You can get the complete collection from 72 to 76 of Adam Warlock for $3.
Yeah.
So if you really want to dig into that after credits Easter egg of Guardians, there you go.
Yeah, there's 400 pages of these Marvel things. A lot of them are like newer books, but like that aren't on sale. But like the Civil War series from 2005, $2.60. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these say Kindle editions, but if you click on it, it's Kindle and Comixology. So if you have a reader, the ability to read Comixology, which any web browser and I think tablet or smartphone can, you can own all these books. And if you go down to if you find one you like, customers who bought this item also bought blah blah blah, a whole bunch of them are there. Like it is ridiculously cheap. So,
and I don't know if you've been reading the new or the relatively new run of Vision, where he's kind of makes his own family and he's like living in the suburbs, but I see that they have one of the volumes of that up for $2.20. I had a coworker tell me that new run is actually really, really good. It's written really well. So man, this is I guess. Yeah, I mean, I could probably get up some of these.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with my friend Brian of Comic UI about this, and we're like, well, this is kind of sad because we actually own a lot of these already. But at the same time, like the new Darth Vader runs, the volumes are under $2, and the Darth Vader comics I thought were pretty good. And just so on and so forth. Old Man Logan, a lot of people love that series. $3.
You can get House of M, which is a classic, for $3. So I guess it all comes down to if you have some sort of a digital hardware where you can read this stuff. But I guess technically you could probably still read them on a desktop computer.
You can read them on anything with a browser. The Secret Wars series, one of my favorite issues. I'm putting the poster up in my office actually. $3.40, and that's 9 issues of amazing story and amazing artwork. And the Dark Tower comic books for people who like the Dark Tower in here for that same price. So I was just blown away by the deals on here. Like every time I click to the next one, I'm like, oh, but wait, there's more, kind of thing. I know you're a big fan of Hawkeye with Matt Fraction, I believe.
Oh yeah,
those awesome. Are in here for like $2. So,
ooh man, I might have to load up my iPad Pro with some of these.
Yeah, so I just thought it was really cool, and again, kind of ties into with Infinity War coming out. Infinity War and Infinity Gauntlet are both on the front page for under $5 a piece. So. Get on this deal while it's there. It didn't announce it. Marvel didn't say anything. It just happened. So. Get yourself some books while the getting's good. So
nice.
That's cool. Some news that probably doesn't really matter. We'll probably skip over this so quick. The Bumblebee spinoff movie. Yes, there's a Bumblebee spinoff movie from Transformers happening. Like I will probably watch the main Transformers movie this summer, but I will not fucking watch this Bumblebee spinoff movie. But the actress Hailee Steinfeld, who was the younger girl in the remake of True Grit recently, is in front to star in the spin-off movie. It's come to my attention since this that she is apparently a pop singer that has a lot of radio hits now.
Radio hits, but we couldn't sound any older. We don't know who the new popular singers are. We say that they're radio stars.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. But she was also like the Edge of 17 or something like that with Woody Harrelson.
Oh, that's why she looks familiar. Yeah, I think people recommended that movie. That was kind of like a independent film. I think it was from the same studio that makes The Simpsons, Gracie Films. But yeah, I guess that was good.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she's got the chops, but who cares if she's acting with a car?
Yeah, a CGI car that's not there, who doesn't talk. I've never heard him talk in any of the movies. What's the point? What's even the point?
Like, he talks in pop culture references. That's basically the equivalent to talking in memes and animated GIFs. God. So it was inevitable, Chris.
He's yellow like an emoji face.
Well, there you go.
Damn it. But if I was going to cross over Transformers with anything, I would say Godzilla and just let him crush them all, man. Godzilla crush all these cars. But we do have some Godzilla King of the Monsters news, and I put this in here for you, Mike, because the actor Thomas Middleditch of Silicon Valley has joined the film.
Yes, Thomas Middleditch. If you're not familiar with him, he is the main star. He's the Richard Hendricks character in Silicon Valley. The dude is just hilarious. Like, I've listened to like interviews and like podcasts with him and stuff like that, and he's got hilarious stories. He's totally unlike his character in the show. He's got like this really raunchy, like subversive, like sense of humor. So he's a funny dude, and like it makes sense that now he's getting cast in these big blockbuster movies. So Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I still haven't seen that first, rebooted Godzilla movie, just because, I heard some unfortunate things that people didn't like about the movie, but I've waited too long. But now it's starting to boomerang back. Now I'm starting to hear people say, "Oh, people are way too critical about that movie. It was a really good summer monster movie. You need to see it." So maybe hopefully it'll be cheap and pop up on iTunes or something.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think anything was wrong with it. I think people would say it would be better than that 99 Godzilla movie, but at the time when that 99 Godzilla movie came out, it was all about that shit. So
is that the Matthew Broderick one you're talking about?
Yes.
See, when that movie came out, I was just a pup in elementary school, and I loved the prequels when I was a kid because I was just a dumb kid, and I was a dumb kid when that was it Jerry Bruckheimer? Or if it wasn't, I feel like it felt like it. It was good.
99?
Yeah, it was fun when I was a kid. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's 98. No, 98 was there it is. Okay, so Roland Emmerich.
There we go. Basically, same
disaster
thing.
films. So Middleditch, just went back to him. His other movie, he was actually one of the main voices in Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, which came out this weekend.
Yes, I haven't seen it. I don't know if I'm going to get around to seeing it, but those were classic books from my childhood too.
And then he's also seen. I saw him on a Verizon commercial last night. So. He's
there you go.
Starring some Verizon commercials as well. So this guy is coming up. So
he used to do improv on cruise ships. So he's put in his due diligence.
yeah. So I mean, he's worked his way to the top. But I mean, that's cool. Godzilla, move along, sequel. But then what I'm really excited for is a Godzilla King Kong crossover, because we've not watched the Godzilla King Kong. Have you watched the King Kong movie yet?
No, because that one was almost like pre-summer. That was like a spring movie. I didn't get a chance to see it yet.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if you did or not, because it ties into Godzilla vs. King Kong, which now has a director with Adam Wingard, who is known for the movie The Guest, has signed on to direct the film.
It looks like he's also done some horror stuff too, which
isn't The Guest a horror film? So
I don't know. I just saw that he also made the VHS movies, which were kind of like, I believe they were found footage horror movies, and You're Next. But it makes sense. Oh, he's also the director on the Death Note live action movie that I believe is coming to Netflix. So
is that a movie or is that a TV series? I don't know how Netflix does their things. They're so weird.
I don't know, but hopefully he nails that anime adaptation, because that doesn't happen too often. But that makes sense. You hire these horror movie directors that are good with stretching small budgets, give them big budgets, and they go crazy. Sometimes they make really awesome movies. AKA, look at the Marvel Universe.
Yeah. So Death Note is a film, and it's got Willem Dafoe in it, which we'll tie to an object later. But The Guest actually stars Dan Stevens, who is Legion in that. So that's where I remember him hearing from, which is a horror film. So I'm really excited. I mean, Godzilla vs. King Kong needs a little horror to it, doesn't it? So
yeah, it's fun bringing back these classic monsters, Godzilla, King Kong. We talked about the Universal Dark Universe, whatever it was called last week, with the Mummy and
the
Wolfman
Mummy is next
and
week
Dracula.
in theaters. We're all over the place on these things.
Yeah,
nostalgia. It's a time for nostalgia, to look back on simpler times, Mike. So
yes,
that's where it's coming from. So King Kong versus Godzilla is coming out. It's there. We brought this up at the top. Murder on the Orient Express is a movie coming out based on the Agatha Christie novel. I think it was written in 1934.
Yeah, it's old.
And this is a trailer, a modern retelling of it. And this is directed by Kenneth Branagh, which is the director of Thor, the first movie.
Yes.
Which is how we kind of thought we'd tie it into here. But then I noticed there's Willem Dafoe, who played, Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah, there you go. So we will find ways to bring this into the light news week. But it's a fun trailer.
And it's got Daisy Ridley, who's in Star Wars as Rey. I don't think she's done any other movies other than Star Wars in this now. But now it makes sense when Josh Gad was harassing her about details about her Star Wars character. They were filming this movie together.
Oh, gotcha.
So now it makes perfect sense. So on this trailer, it doesn't really give a whole lot away. It looks like Clue on a train.
Yes.
Minus the humor, but it looks beautiful. I will
Yes.
give him that, and we've got to give mad props to Kenneth Branagh for his mustache.
Oh
abilities.
yeah, I love how they reveal kind of the mustache at the very end of the trailer. So that's really cool. We were talking before we started recording the podcast that since this is a very old story, it's been told many times. So it was a book, it was a movie, it was 2 TV shows, I guess. So
Yep.
I have no idea the story of Murder on the Orient Express. I don't know if it's always the same killer every time. Like I was saying for you, like an example, maybe the salesman is always iconically the killer in the story. If he is, I have no idea if that's going to happen in this movie. So I like that it's still a mystery. And also I have a feeling that since it's a modern kind of retelling, or not a modern retelling, but since it's being made in modern times, maybe they would just go ahead and subvert the plot and just make a new murder anyway. Kind of like Clue, where it's a new person every time.
You think they're gonna film multiple endings where there's a bunch of different whodunits on the train?
that would be hilarious. I really love the Clue movie because I never watched it really as a kid growing up. It's not like my parents had an affinity for the movie and had it on the screen, and I was kind of warming up to the idea of what movies were when I was a kid. I watched it maybe like 2 years ago for the very first time with no context, and I loved it. I had no idea that they did all those different endings, and when it ended, like my wife had already seen it before, and she was just like, no, just wait, and then there was another one, there was another ending. I was like, oh my god, I love this movie. So I don't think it's going to be like that though, Chris.
Oh, damn the luck. I was really hoping they'd do that. Maybe we need a modern retelling of Clue. But yeah, I mean this movie, despite the story not having any affinity to us, I think it looks fun. Like maybe not a movie I have to go see in the theater, but something I could probably catch later.
Not quite a Snowpiercer, huh?
No, I didn't catch that in the theater either, but I did enjoy watching that later. You definitely find out who's murdering on that train for sure. I guess we both saw this movie, but it was both after our last show. But Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, we both saw it last week, and we haven't talked about it yet.
Wrong, because I did not see this movie.
You didn't see it? Oh, I thought you saw it, so that's why I put it on here.
No, that's fine, because you can tell me whatever you want about this movie, because if I go see it, I'm probably just going to check out anyway, because I'll be going with other people. So yeah, let me know what you thought about the movie. I don't care.
So there are currently 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yes.
The first one is unanimously voted as the best of them.
Yes. And in my opinion, it is the only good one.
Yes. So 2 has some good parts. 3 jumps the literal shark.
Yes.
4 is I slept in the theater while it was happening, so I don't remember it.
Yes.
And by not seeing it, I didn't miss anything coming to 5. But 5 feels much more like this should have been a sequel to 2 or 1 than anything.
Wow.
But I didn't say I didn't have a bad time. It didn't offend me, Mike.
All right.
The picture quality was a little muddled at times. Like it's like very dark.
Quality.
But like at the same time, I'm like, you know what? This is a fun romp. He went on a romp. They were on land for a little bit. They're on the sea for a little bit. They're back on land for the third act, and then finish it out in the sea. And I'm like, that's a Pirates movie for sure.
Does it feel like they're leaving it open for more movies? I know that in the trailer they specifically say this is the beginning of the end, so I wasn't sure. Does it feel like they got a whole other trilogy they're trying to make here, or maybe there's only one movie left?
So there is a post-credit scene. Stay through the credits. I mean, but it sets up a sequel, but in a different manner than the other ones have. Mm-hmm. The trailers have kind of given this away, but Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom return for this movie, and it feels like the next movie might be focused on them again, thankfully, because they had the best chemistry out of the whole movie series. Because it feels like Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow is like, he's just, I'm done with him. But the world they kind of live in is still kind of cool, but it kind of does a throwback to the second and third movie through the end credit scene here. So there is definitely more to be told here, but it definitely felt like a tighter film with better characters I enjoyed than the other ones I've seen lately.
Yeah. And Chris, it might not even be up to us or the American audience, because I hear that these Pirates movies are like freaking huge over in China. Like, people love pirates and Johnny Depp, like just how like we love Spider-Man and Superman and all of our comic book characters. So they might just keep making money in China. We might not have a choice.
Well, I'm figured it'd be a huge movie over in Somalia, where a lot of pirates actually come from.
Oh, Chris.
But yeah, right now it sits at half $500 million.
Yeah, just a $500 million for 2 weeks, you know.
Yeah, and it looks like it doubled the production budget, so it's definitely made back its marketing dollars. Javier Bardem was fun. I feel like they rely on old characters way too much. Like, we don't need Barbossa anymore. Like, he was fun in the first one, but like, quick bringing these old guys out of pirating. And if you keep an open eye, there is a one of the Beatles, not Ringo, the other one who's still alive, Paul McCartney. He's in there. He makes a cameo. So,
huh? All right.
And it was not directed by Jerry Bruckheimer for once. It had new directors. So, I think that's where it kind of benefits a little bit from. So, I thought it was okay. If you like pirates, go watch it in theaters. If not, yeah, it's a good at-home movie. You'll be fine. So, lastly, I want to end it on. I mean, we're ending early, but that's okay. I want to end on 2 shows I've been watching, like binge watching, even though they're not done yet. Mostly because I missed the first couple weeks of them here. First off is American Gods. Mike, are you familiar with the premise of this?
Slightly. It's something about like gods living on Earth. Maybe they can or can't not be gods. I'm not really sure. All I know is people are saying this is a very good show, but I haven't really heard a whole lot of hype for it. So I don't really know if it's just because it's like on a network that a lot of people don't have access to. I think you said it was Stars. So like, I don't know how
it might be HBO. I don't know. It's one of those two, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like I feel like it's a Stars or a Showtime, which I feel like more people have access to things like HBO or Netflix. So I don't know.
Yeah. So it's on Stars. That's what it is. I've never read the book. It's based on a book written by Neil Gaiman. My friend Patrick loves it. Adores this book. A lot of people really love this book. This show, despite having read it, I don't feel lost. I really love following the characters. One of the main actors is Ian McShane, and he just brings you in. What I can get so far, I am 5 episodes into 8 total for the first season. That there are old gods from like the old mythologies versus new gods of like what we worship, quote unquote, now, and like there's a war coming somehow. So Crispin Glover has shown up several times.
Crispin Glover, I haven't seen that guy in years.
He nails it. Like I said, Ian McShane is in there. Gillian Anderson is in it as a main character. So I thought she's cool. Dane Cook appears in an episode or 2. Orlando Jones. I mean, are you familiar with Peter Stormare? He's usually a Russian guy in most films.
I'm sure he's probably a character I would recognize if I saw him. But
you would. He's the stereotypical Eastern European Russian guy in every movie. He's in an episode. It's just Cloris Leachman. All these big name actors from old and new playing like this thing. You don't quite give it all to you at once, which is awesome. But you're following this guy who's been recruited into this as like a quote-unquote bodyguard or I guess bodyguard / errand boy for one of the gods. So it's really great.
Well, a Chris recommendation is nearly a guarantee, so I'm going to have to give this a look.
I'm going to keep that clip there for a while. So if Mike ever doubts what I recommend him, I'll have that there. But yeah, episode 6 just airs today, and there's 2 more left, so you can binge it come 2 weeks or so. So it might be a good summer binge. Maybe if you don't want to watch Preacher weekly, you can watch all these. So really like it. Really excited to see the last 3 here, and gosh, really love American Gods. Can't stress enough. However, it is not kid friendly. Do not watch it with your kids. This is not a kid friendly show at all, and I don't mean that lightly. It's like you don't watch Deadpool with your kids. Yeah. So don't watch American Gods with your kids. Another show that has gotten a revitalization, so to speak, is Twin Peaks, with this season 3 limited series, whatever they want to call it, which takes place 25 years after the original. And I've only watched the first 2 episodes of the 4 that are currently available, but I gotta tell you, David Lynch has brought this show back, and it does not feel like 25 years has passed since the last episode.
Well, I am insanely out of the loop when it comes to Twin Peaks. I know it was kind of a niche kind of TV show back in the day, and then it picked up some steam, I guess, on DVD or however people were getting it after it was off the air. Isn't there a story about how when it was getting canceled, David Lynch decided to do some sort of weird, kind of bizarre kind of series finale because he knew the show was ending and he kind of wanted to mess with people or something like that? Or am I thinking of another show?
I don't know. I mean, he got a whole movie done actually after the second season ended. They did a whole movie that was like a prequel movie. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
Well, there you go. Like I said, out of the loop. I have no context for Twin Peaks, but maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Yeah, and this new revitalization has 18 episodes, which it's huge. So I'm really, really excited for that. But the first two, like, whenever like they say like we're bringing a show back, we're gonna revisit it. You can feel like technology has changed. The way we absorb stories has changed. Like you feel the modern take on the old stuff, and you're like, oh, this is too new for me. A good example is Star Wars original trilogy versus the prequels. Like it feels worlds apart, right? Even though they're not very far apart. David Lynch is able to go back and like whatever he's doing is just, it feels like the pacing is from the early 90s. The shots, the sound, everything is so 90s. You don't feel like any time has passed. And it's so surreal. Like, if you want stuff spoon-fed to you, do not watch Twin Peaks. Because you will go fucking crazy watching these shows. You won't know what's happening. You'll be confused. You'll be mad. This is like when Mike watches an Alien prequel. He doesn't know what's happening. You're going to feel that way in this. If you
up is down, left is right, black is white. What's going on?
What is happening? Why do I have to have the Wikipedia pulled up with me the entire time I'm watching this? But for me, I like that stuff. Like, this isn't normal television, and for that, I really like delving into it and absorbing that and watching it. So to me, it's a pleasure. But for someone who just wants to sit back and zone out, probably not going to be your TV show. That's my Twin Peaks. Right.
All right. Wow. Well, there you go. One week of news down. Next week is another week to go.
Yeah. I mean, you called it, dude. I mean, it's all news. Hopefully, we get some more stuff this week. I feel we had a short week this week, didn't we? Was it only 4 days? I feel like because of a holiday on Monday.
Yeah, it was. So that could explain it. There you go. That's the logical explanation.
That's what we're gonna go with here. So I'm gonna go grab me some dinner and edit on these babies because we got 2 shows. We got a spoiler cast we did, so you can listen to that. But Mike, if people want to know what you're up to, you've got comics coming out. Where can they find that out?
Well, they can follow me at Mike Royer Design on Twitter and Instagram. And you can read my webcomics, hopefully every week this summer, at pickledcomics.com. Chris, if people want to see your exclusive Chase Pops, I guess is what they're called. Man, I'm so old. Where can they follow you?
Well, if you want to see these newfangled Chase Pops that the people are coming out with today, you can follow me on Twitter at Valdan, Valdan. I'll be posting pictures on my Instagram, which you can follow through that. I don't remember what my username is there, but you can go through that way. I don't know. Something or other. You can also listen to the podcast Film Side Chats. You can check out comicui.com. And you can also follow the destination comics.com/DNN for all the other stuff I've been working on. So we got a new show coming up and stuff I work on. So a lot of stuff in the gates this summer. Gonna keep busy. But again, like I keep saying, Mike, we had a spoiler cast this week. 2 episodes. Probably going to be having a lot of that this summer, it seems like. If people want to listen to that other episode and more of our show, where can they find that at?
Well, as always, please visit superheroslate.com. That is the best place to find all of the avenues that we host this show, and also to get our awesome show notes. So if you want to check out that Orient Express trailer, or if you want to see that model of Sakaar, is that what we're calling it, of that alien planet, you can check that out in our show notes at superheroslate.com. And you can subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Tumblr. You can subscribe and get us right in your email inbox every week, and you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to pick up a Superhero Slate shirt, you want to rock the show, you can get that at superheroslate.com/store. If you're a fan of the show, please consider leaving us a review wherever you listen to the show, iTunes especially. Pop open that podcast app on your iPhone, go to us and leave us a review. We'd really love that. And if you're a super fan of the show, all you got to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week. And especially this summer, it's probably going to be twice a week. So
yeah, that's right.
Thanks,
Quite a bit.
thanks a lot. And a quick sunburn update from when I was talking about this last week. I'm officially peeling, Chris. So there you go.
It took you a whole week to peel?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, well, that's fun. I was going to say also about the t-shirts. I got another one. I ordered some more shirts from us. I got them in and really liking the baseball cut tees. The black sleeves go really well with the logo. Even though I ordered dark navy, when it looks black, it looks really good. So.
Yeah, and if you're under the normal regular color options, at the end of the list there you can kind of get these heather colored options, and they're really nice and really comfortable. That's what I got all of my shirts in. So I would recommend those. But yeah, mix and match, make whatever color you want, whatever size. You can get it on a mug, mouse pad, whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah, do it. Have some fun with it. So. All right, that's our show for this week, guys. We'll catch you next week.
All right, bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.
WonderWoman.com. Is it porn? Is it porn? Nope, DCComics.com/Wonder Woman. Man, that's no fun.
WonderWomen.com is a blank white screen.